Good morning, everyone. Or noon. Or night, I guess. Anyway, happy to see all of your smiling faces here. Or at least I think you're smiling. I can't really see your faces. But if this chapter wasn't enough to make you at least smirk a little, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe also pour yourself some coffee. I definitely had too much already. But now, if you got yourself a big cup of your hot or cold beverage of choice, it's time for some One Piece. Roll that intro. So, chapter 957 of One Piece is out. And oh boy, we do have to talk about this. This chapter pretty much felt like someone from the community went straight to Oda's office and threatened him to make a chapter where nothing but hype stuff is revealed. This felt like a fan chapter you would come across and think to yourself, that looks pretty well made, but that can never be a real chapter, right? That would have to be too good to be true. But turns out this is the real deal. So let's discuss this bad boy together. I think I don't even have to ask you guys this time to share your thoughts about what's going on. So drop those comments and help me make sense of all of that. Also, if you enjoy this review, smash that like button. But now, time to get ourselves some good old world building. So where to begin? This chapter pretty much only consisted of big shot characters. You know what? I think the beginning of the chapter sounds good. Yeah, let's start at the beginning. Now that I think about it, we always do that anyway. Never mind. Luckily enough, despite all the input we're getting today, we only have one location to cover in this chapter, and that is the new Marine HQ, now located at the entrance of the New World. The first two characters we're starting off with are the Admiral Fujitora and the Fleet Admiral Akainu. While it's usually super exciting to see any of these two, in the context of this chapter, it's not even close to being the best thing. The two discuss the freshly announced abolition of the warlord system. While Fujitora is obviously rather pleased with this result, Akainu is a little bit more skeptical about the potential risk this decision brings with it. Considering that Akainu usually has the rule burn first, ask questions later, he actually shows a lot more consideration for military and political issues than I'd thought. We also learned that the Marines have established a new special force unit in order to fill the gap that the powerful warlords left in their ranks. The name of that unit is SSG, and right now my best guess is that this is actually the sword unit that we got introduced to in the latest chapter. The really big news, of course, is the newly formed alliance between Big Mom and Kaido though, the reunion of two of the Rocks pirates. In the face of this new threat, Sengoku has decided to throw together a workshop for all the higher ranking Marines. And to be fair, he looks like someone for whom I would actually show up to class. I mean, how many teachers did you have that brought a goat to the classroom? Petting his emotional support goat, Sengoku tells the gathered crowd about that legendary pirate crew. As it turns out, the world government has tried hard to completely eradicate the existence of the Rocks pirates from people's memory. The crew had too many strong members and acted more like a terrorist group than a pirate crew. They also got unexpected support in this undertaking by the remnants of the Rocks pirates themselves, who never talked about their time there since they couldn't stand each other. Something that isn't too hard to believe once you hear some of the names of the crew. Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, and the Golden Lion Ishikari are the names we're most familiar with. But Sengoku also goes on to drop the names of a couple of other members. The Silver Axe, Captain John, and Ochoku. Now, these three names might not sound too familiar at first, but I still have something to say about all three of them. Firstly, the Silver Axe. Now, as far as One Piece goes, the Silver Axe is only mentioned once in the story, and not as a person, but as one of Cavendish's swords moves. Now, I personally don't think that there's a connection there, but then again, maybe his dark persona Hakuma has something to do with this? We'd have to speculate. Next, we have Captain John. And you might not remember him, but we have actually already seen him in the story. Captain John was a famous pirate who was known for collecting one of the most significant treasures in the world. His corpse was found by Dr. Hawkback and then turned into one of Moria's general zombies. Pretty likely we won't see him getting any action again anytime soon. The last name on that list is Ochoku. This character is interesting because, similar to Blackbeard, he was a real pirate lord in 16th century China. I think he's one of the most likely members to be revealed in the story at one point. The biggest name drop though is without a doubt that of the captain of the crew, Roxy Sebek. Okay, so firstly, am I surprised that this guy has a D in his name? Absolutely not. Do I think that Roxy Sebek is a cool name? Absolutely yes. Do I think that it's a little bit weird that his last name is a type of Mediterranean trading ship? Kind of, yeah. So, who is this guy with the pretty badass silhouette? Well, as it turns out, Rox didn't throw together the strongest pirate crew in the world to enjoy the amusement park on Sabaody together. Did he want to become king of the pirates? No, he wanted to become king of the world. Being a constant thorn in the eye of the world government, one day, 38 years ago, the Rox pirates apparently were defeated. Now, I'm not exactly sure what is more exciting to talk about here, whether it's by whom or where they were defeated. I'm gonna start with the who, because it's not as big of a surprise as the other reveal. The person who defeated the Rox pirates was no one else than Monkey D. Garb himself, with the help of Gold D. Roger. Let that sink in for a second. Now, we already knew that Roger and Garb respected each other, but that they respected each other enough to fight side by side is definitely a big deal. I think it shows us really nicely how similar Roger must have actually been to Luffy. The truly interesting detail here though is that they fought in order to protect the Celestial Dragons and their slaves. Now, I already know that this will lead to some amazing theories, and I already have one too. Wanna hear it? Okay, so, me personally, I'm convinced it has to do something with the One Piece. Roger and Rayleigh stated that they were too early when discovering the One Piece. I think what they meant by that is that they discovered a truth about the world that was an existential threat to the world and something that they couldn't affect yet. And as a result, they had to start to preserve the current balance of the world itself, which meant fighting for the stability of the world government and the Tenryubito. Do I have more evidence to back that up, you asked? Well, in fact, I do. Think about Shanks. Why is he working with the government? Why does he try to preserve the structure of the world? He knows the truth. He traveled with Roger. And he puts all his hopes into Luffy to finally be the one to change whatever they discovered on Raftel. And I bet it has something to do with Imo-sama. Well, these are my thoughts on this matter, guys. I actually might do a video on this if no one else comes up with this connection, which I doubt. But definitely let me know your thoughts on this. What also plays into this theory is the where of this incident. This battle took place on an island called God Valley, an island that the government wanted to hide at any price and that vanished after the incident. Now, I don't think that God Valley is Raftel, but I'm convinced that there is a connection between the One Piece, the world government, and God Island. I mean, look at the name, folks. God Island. What is also interesting in this regard, of course, is that Garb is confirmed in this chapter to have been Admiral level by Sengoku. Not an unimportant detail in my opinion. Now guys, I still have so many thoughts on this matter, but also don't want this review to be an hour long. So let's move on to the next big thing in this chapter. The revelation of the Yonkos and the Pirate King's bounties. We go from lowest to highest, which will obviously shock some of you. First, Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard. Bounty 2.2 billion berry. We already knew that one. Next, and that is a real surprise, Red Hair Shanks. Bounty 4 billion berry. And as a quick side note, it is also mentioned that Shanks only became a Yonko a mere 6 years ago, meaning that he was not a Yonko in fact when he first met Luffy. Third is Charlotte Lin Lin, aka Big Mom. Bounty 4.4 billion berry. Fourth and last of the current Yonko is Kaido of the Beasts with a bounty of 4.6 billion berry. But we're not done yet. Oh no. Next in line we have the former emperor and captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, Edward Newgate. Bounty 5 billion berry. And last but not least, the man himself, the Pirate King Gold D. Roger with the highest bounty of the lot. 5.5 billion berry. Wow, that's what I call a reveal. And I'm just curious how soon they're gonna start printing those merchandise bounty posters. I'll definitely get one. Or two. Or three. Anyway, While knowing the bounties of all these big shots is definitely great, I think the most interesting thing here is honestly the fact that Shanks only became a Yonko so recently. Finally, Sengoku and Akainu end the chapter with another bang. First, Akainu hints that the Marines most likely won't get involved in Wano right now, which honestly surprised me, and then Sengoku draws us the parallel between Wano, Oden, Whitebeard, Roger, Big Mom, and Kaido. And if Oda is not hinting at Luffy becoming a true big shot during Wano with this, I don't know what he should do. Anyway guys, when I put my hopes up last week that from now on we would be getting hype chapter after hype chapter, I was a little bit afraid that I jinxed it. But look at that, it just got better. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. As always, let me know how you felt about this chapter and if I forgot any important details. Also, if you enjoyed this review, leave me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But of course, as always, you can also dislike, don't share, and unsubscribe. It's a free world, people. I hope to see you around next time, and until then, have a great week. Cheers.